Hello, everyone. Welcome to Music Book Club, episode 4. My name is Jasmine, and this week we listened to Invitation to Hers by Hers. This is an album that is, this is a band that is originating from Liverpool. Album is their first and also their last album. They passed away early last year in a car accident, so this album is their legacy, which makes this album interesting to listen to when you think about that. Their album is very indie rock, and it's got a bit of bedroom and romance pop, and utilizes a lot of musical lyrical elements from 1980s, while still feeling pretty modern. For me, I thought this album was really atmospheric. A lot of the songs felt like they told a story, or felt like they were set in an environment. It almost felt like watching a TV show. I don't know why. I just thought it was kind of interesting. I really liked the vocals of the singer for this album. It made everything feel very moody and added a lot of attitude to some of the tracks. It felt like it wasn't overpowering any of the instrumentals. It felt like it was paired together, which I think is really important for stuff like this. The only time I found because his voice is a little bit drowning, the only time I really didn't like it was during Breathing Easy, which is the 6th track in the album. Just because I don't know, I just didn't like it. It felt kind of whiny. I think it had its own charm to the song. It just felt off to me. It didn't feel like it suited what the song was going for, personally. I think the opening track to this album is really good. It does a great job setting the overall tone of the album, which I think is great. It's also my favorite song on the album. I liked, with Low Beam, I liked all this really bendy guitars. It felt like it was windy, like you could feel the wind. It felt like a summer night in August or something.
That's
it
a
was
good way to
just
put it.
so cool. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting how they did that, going back to the atmospheric quality. I think the transitions between everything are really nice. The only part of the album I really didn't like was going, for the second half of the album, everything was very, slow and dreamy, and then it transitions to Love on the Line just in the middle of that, and it's so more upbeat than all of the other songs in that second half. It just feels so weird. It's such a different song from everything else on the album, which I don't mind. I like the song. I just don't think it fits the overall album. But,
Sure.
yeah, other than that, I really liked it. I think it's a very colorful album, and very sunny. So, that's my thoughts.
Love on the Line's actually I listed my favorite tracks, and it's like my third favorite, but
It's good. I love it. I just don't think it fits on the album.
I didn't notice that the way you did, but I guess in hindsight I can kind of see that. It is my turn, right? I'm not just crazy.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so this is for me anyways, this is one of the better indie pop albums I've heard in a really long time. I really like nearly every song in this album. Well, I like every song on this album. I think some of them aren't as good as others, but I'll get into that. I love how they cover a lot of things genre-wise, like synth pop. There's some new wave, some new romantic. Even at the end of the album, there's a little bit of sunshine pop in one of the verses I could hear that kind of reminded me of the Beatles. They are from Liverpool, so I don't know. But they always remain really stylistically consistent. The album never feels... There's never anything really jarring to me or out of place. I feel like everything kind of holds together really well. And I found myself dancing around my room last night, just listening to this with headphones on. It made me feel so good. I feel like I'm with this. I'm starting. It's kind of been inspiring me to want to listen to happier music. And not that this album's super happy all the time, but I listen to a lot of sad music. But lately, I just kind of want to listen to something that makes me want to dance. And I've been kind of doing that with other records too lately. I've been listening to a lot of 80s pop. Kind of exploring those genres.
Like Gigi Allen?
Not anything like Gigi Allen.
My favorite synth pop from the 80s.
Yeah. It's called Poo Pop.
Poo pop. Nazi poo pop.
Oh no.
But this album it got better and better the more I listened to it. At first it kind of seemed like a generic kind of 80s revival pop album, but all the songs are just so catchy. Like Harvey is like one of my favorite introductions to an album we've done for book club. And like Low Beam is now kind of one of my favorite songs ever. It's just so good. But the only real problem with the album is some of the tracks just don't meet the same level of quality as stuff like those two songs. Like, I think Breathin' Easy is a good song, but it's a little bit of a slog when it comes to the rest of the record. Like, I'd rather just skip to the bops than listen to Breathin' Easy. And maybe the second half of the album isn't as memorable as the first half, because there's so many good songs in the first half compared to the last half. And I just as a bit of a closing note, I think it's really, really fucking sad what happened to these guys, and I wish they were around to make more music. Apparently, the police in the area had heard like complaints about a guy driving on the wrong side of the road speeding, and that just happened to be the guy they crashed into, and it's just a fucking tragedy.
Oh, maybe because they drive on the other side over there. Must have been
This was in the United States. They were touring.
Oh,
yeah.
So maybe they were.
I know they weren't. But a lot of bands get into car accidents just because they're on the road all the time. But,
Yeah.
You know. Also, I started this week. I just started writing down my favorite tracks and least favorite tracks. So my favorites were Low Beam, Harvey, and Low on the Line, and my least favorites were Deep Breathin' and not Deep Breathin', Breathin' Easy. I wrote Deep Breathin' for some reason, and Carry the Doubt. But like every song in this album is still good. So those are my favorites. Ryland?
Okay, so before I knew that this album was haunted, I really thought that this was like the perfect roller skating song. Like this was...
I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but now you can only roller skate to the Monster Mash listening to this.
Yeah, like
God.
I felt like this was it. Like I was on Amazon.com just searching roller skates for the last 5 minutes, and I didn't buy any, but there was a part of me that wanted to enough to go search it on Amazon.
Wait, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
We should do that. We should go to roller derbies.
I looked it
Yeah.
up. Like, no, I don't want rollerblades.
No, I mean, there's places where you can like dance around a rink on roller skates and they rent them to you.
Yes,
So-
the
So
discotheque.
I might do that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, sorry.
Oh my
the
god.
album overall felt really, really good. It had some like 80s vibes, but I was also getting some 70s vibes. Like I felt that I needed to grow an afro for this album at some point. So overall, I mean, afros are good vibes. So this is a good vibe album, which I really appreciate.
Hell yeah.
And Dylan mentioned that as well. And there's some really, really cool tracks on here, and some unexpected tracks.
You should just wait. You should just leave it your opinion at rollerblading and afros and just stick with that.
Cut the rest of it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut the rest of it out.
Yeah. I think you're
the
right.
only Ryland words I'm gonna leave in are rollerblades and afros. You become really disjointed, and then I'm just gonna be like, all right, Brennan.
There's rollerblades and afros. All right, Brennan.
Haunted rollerblades afros.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Everything by this point that I've said has been completely overrun by the idea that this album is haunted.
Yeah,
I'm
honestly,
very,
it bumped it down a couple
Very
points.
serious when I say that I find it hard to sleep at night because this album is
You
haunting
learned
me.
it today. What do you mean?
Yeah, you haven't tried yet. It's 7:19 p.m. You haven't gone to bed yet.
What, you've never had retroactive nightmares?
They're
I have
called
been having a lot of nightmares lately, and maybe it's because of this
daymares?
record.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
you're having
maybe you got
nightmares?
retroactive nightmares from
Amen.
listening to a haunted album.
Yeah, but I haven't had
God.
any nightmares about car accidents. I've just had nightmares about like vampires and haunted houses.
Maybe that's
Oh yeah,
actually
that's true.
killed them.
That's fine.
All right, Ryland, do you have any,
Okay, so
anything
the-
else?
I found even the tracks that were inconsistent with the rest of the vibe, like songs like "Carry the Doubt," to me sounded kind of like a country song. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's just that kind of vibe to it. It reminds me of some of the country music that my dad used to play in like his bands. Just that old 90s twangy country.
Those old haggard curmudgeons playing country music, you mean?
Those ones.
My
So-
favorite Haggard curmudgeons.
Overall, even though the album did feel inconsistent in terms of color, tonally I think it was very consistent. I felt like rollerblading the entire time.
Yeah,
And
I think you're right.
growing
My
out
favorite-
afro as we speak.
my favorite subgenre of country is 80s inspired indie pop.
Me too.
Oh, can I just mention the fucking bass on this record? The production on this album is so
Yes.
good, and the bass
Yeah,
is like
the
so
production is very
purposefully
good.
in your face, and it's just
Oh,
I
yeah.
never even thought about
It's so
mentioning
dancey.
It just works.
especially on low beam. Also, I forgot to say
Oh
that
my god.
the vocals on what's track 2 called? Manny's
Smile.
Manny's or
I
Manny's
love
Smile.
Manny's smile.
There's like the little like
Uh,
pitch raises and his voice lowers, and they do some really post production cool stuff with his
Oh,
voice. And I also just love how deep his voice is, and then like how he can like kind of sing falsetto and romantic like.
yeah.
Just can sing it. Sorry, Ryland, you had some valid points. I just didn't care.
I don't care about any of my points either since the album was
Aw.
Since the album's haunted.
God.
People die all the
So-
time. It doesn't ruin their music.
So yeah,
It just ruins any future projects they had planned.
those probably won't happen.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, they still might. You don't know.
Well, actually, wait. Maybe if one of us gets haunted enough, we could finish it for them.
What about that guy who died and then he put out an album and Anthony Fantano cried?
Mac Miller.
Yeah,
That album
he
is
put out
amazing.
he put out a Ghost album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did.
Michael Jackson
As
did
a
it
ghost?
too.
Yeah.
So every artist that dies does it. That's not true, but like a lot of the big ones do it.
Like very popular in the public eye artists.
It's just if I want to say if I'm gonna say one thing about the new Mac Miller album is that I feel like most posthumous albums feel like cash grabs. The new Mac Miller one doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like that. It's just a really good record.
I don't know. Kids Bop just wasn't the same after Lucy died.
Oh my god.
Was she the tour manager for hers? Because he died too.
Wait, was his name also Lucy?
Wait,
No, it wasn't.
why is this album so haunted? Okay, Brennan, you need to talk about this album so I can forget about how haunted it is.
No, Rylan,
Alright.
you have to integrate
Um,
that into your personality and move on and grow.
It's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
So my
don't
fir-
want to. I don't want to. I'm not like trying to like make light of people's deaths. It's just how we cope.
What do you
Because-
mean?
You mean you cope by making light of people's deaths?
Not making little jokes. But this album is fucking haunted. Go ahead, Brennan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't,
Oh, yeah,
don't
okay.
speak ill of the dead. That's insensitive,
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, man.
right.
Dylan.
Never say
So-
a bad thing about Adolf Hitler.
It's true.
Yeah. Says Brandon always says. What a fine. He says always, "What a fine fella."
Oh yeah.
He was really good at art.
Yep.
It's true. He was. That's what
I
he
mean,
was known for.
You gotta hand it to the guy. He did kill Hitler.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
when you figure out your grandpa killed Hitler.
What?
Oh, wait.
What? Is your grandpa Hitler?
Yeah, dude, my grandpa killed Hitler, man. I just figured this out.
Whoa.
There were actually some
What a
leaked
badass.
files in the JFK report that had some evidence to support the idea that Hitler survived.
Oh, so Hitler killed JFK?
I'm sorry, how did we get here? I'm so confused.
See, this is what a haunted album does to people.
Oh my god, it's so haunted, you idiot. God.
I really want to know what Brandon thought of this album.
All right. Well, number one, it's haunted. Number two, that was okay. I think it's definitely getting better after multiple listens. But even after multiple listens, I don't know. It just feels really meh. And I don't know why, because I love all the songs. They're awesome.
Don't
Every
speak
time I
ill of the
listen
dead,
to
Brandon.
it. Oh, right. This album is a perfect 10 out of 10. No, I don't know. It's
Their
like
spirits can rest easy now. Brennan gave their album a 10 out of 10.
but yeah, no, it's every time I listen to it, it makes me really happy. I like the songs. I feel like although sometimes they can feel not super cohesive, I still feel like it's an enjoyable experience all the way through. But I don't know. After every listen, I never feel like, oh, that was a good album. Every single time after I finish the album, I just kind of go, and that's that's just kind of it. I don't really know why. I guess I wish maybe, I guess maybe there was a bit more experimentation. Maybe if it went out of its way to do more interesting things, because some of the songs on this album that were really, really, really fantastic, they just stick in your head forever. Like Harvey, like Love in the Line. These songs are awesome to listen to over and over.
Those are the two singles too, so maybe.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of songs on here that I do not remember in any way. Even after multiple listens, I just listen to it again and it's like I'm hearing the song for the first time, and just like the first time, I'm not super interested. But the song isn't bad. Like none of the songs I think are bad. That much I know. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, it just leaves really kind of eh. But I do definitely agree with, I think the beginning is a lot stronger than maybe the later half. I think there are definitely some interesting production things going on, but at the same time, I do think I wish the mix, I think, was a bit clearer. I think a good amount of times I'm listening to it and I just kind of get bored because it doesn't feel super I guess super engaging a lot of the time for me. I don't know. I guess I wish it did more. I wish it did more for me. It doesn't do a whole lot. Yeah.
So your rocks are still on?
Yes.
Because it didn't. Okay.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna have to agree with Brennan on this one. I mean, you know, the album opens up with Harvey, which is, I feel like, the best descriptor. Is just real tasty. Like it's a tasty intro.
The burgers are better though.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than this album being fucking cursed, I definitely waited to listen to it just because I didn't want to invite that energy into my house. But like yeah, I think I agree with Brennan in that like it's not really doing it for me. And I think for me personally, it was the vocal delivery that I wasn't a huge fan of. And I know you guys probably disagree, but I felt like it was pretty flat and boring the whole time. And then when they do that weird thing of like when he's doing the harmonics, but it feels like they just took the vocal track and like tuned it up. Like that was always super weird.
No, that was great. What are you talking about?
But like, I mean, you know, there was really solid guitar throughout. I really like that, and like it feels like a solid, just like relaxing bedroom pop album. Like, you know, the kind of thing that you could put on in the background while you're doing other stuff, and it wouldn't be super intrusive. But like, nothing about this album I think makes me want to like give it like a super deep, dedicated listen
Yeah, it's
again.
pretty solid, I guess.
But
Like a big turd after eating a bunch of fiber. You know, that kind of solid.
yeah, but yeah, it was fine. I just wish it was a little more interesting, and like the vocals just weren't doing it for me. But Nick, please.
Hello?
Let's do a mic check.
Yeah, sorry, just testing my microphone. So yeah, I don't know. I'm with Brennan and Matt on this one. I thought it was extremely meh. It was just I feel like other than maybe the first couple tracks, I feel like this album went very nowhere. I don't know. There's something very like there wasn't anything I really disliked about the album except for the bass guitar. I thought the bass guitar was extremely obnoxious and unnecessarily all over the place.
Your opinion isn't valid.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
How dare you?
I don't know, man.
These men are dead.
I just oh no, I'm gonna get canceled now.
Oh, no.
Oh god.
Oh shoot, dude.
Well, I'll turn myself into the McGulag. I'll just walk there myself.
Oh, no.
No. Sorry, you were saying you have bad taste?
Hello, sir. Yes. Yeah, I'm here because I got canceled. I said something bad about a dead person. Oh, right this way. Here. Would you like the front or the back of the gas chamber? Oh, no difference for me. I'll just take any spot. Doesn't really matter. Whichever kills me the quickest.
This is turning into the Holocaust. You see what I'm doing? Oh,
That's terrible.
yeah, that's really bad.
I want to leave.
Oh,
Me too.
God.
Nick, hurry so we can get out of this nightmare.
Oh god.
It's this cursed
This is
album and
it's
its
what
energy.
happens. It's cursed.
Yeah. Oh,
Why did-
jeez.
What are you talking about? I'm vibing.
It's
Why
because
did
you picked it. It's 'cause you picked it. It's like The Room or The Ring or whatever. You like played the video first, and now we're all cursed.
Yeah, but Jasmine didn't know when she picked it. I told her.
Yeah, I didn't. Dylan
Oh,
found out
no.
before I did.
Yeah, but the spirit possessing your body
sure
sure as
knew it
fucking
where
hell
it was
knew.
cursed.
This album's been possessing me for a while.
Oh yeah, but anyways, back to how terribly generic this album is. I thought it just sounded like every other Mac DeMarco ripoff band that happened after like 2013. Like especially the song "Low Beam," it literally sounds like Mac DeMarco's Rock and Roll Nightclub. It has the same like low, kind of fake low voice on the vocals.
Oh yeah, I forgot to add a note actually. This album just the whole thing struck me as just like worse Wallows. Like they had their album that came out last year, and
I
This
think
is so, like-
Wallows is
I know
worse
exactly what you're
first.
talking about. Those albums sound completely different.
I don't know.
I don't know. They're both good albums, though.
Nick, tell us
Getting heated in
about
here.
your feelings.
Feelings?
Yeah.
Wow,
On
no,
the
I feel a little I don't know, maybe staying aside for a really long time is really draining.
Yeah.
And
Tell us more.
I really miss like going out and talking to people and
Hey, remember when we talked about music
being out in the sun.
and not Nick's
No,
feelings?
we're focusing on Nick's feelings right now, okay?
Yeah.
But
I was just like
It's important.
I want to talk about
Support your
music.
friend, Dylan.
I am. Nick likes
Just
music,
like-
and I want to talk about it with him.
like ever since
Support
we're
your
here for
friends
more.
quarantine
you
started.
support dead people.
I've been like waking up in a malaise and just kind of walking around my apartment back and forth pretending like I have something new to do.
Bum, ba, na, 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 na.
Every now and then I'll pass my cats and I'll smile a little bit and remember that that's just a temporary feeling. Sometimes I look out the window and wonder if I have the courage to just open it up a little wider and jump out.
Are Were you recording a concept album right now?
Tell me
I
more.
thought you were
Nick.
just gonna stop at recording.
Tell me more, Nick.
Huh?
What else do you have to say about?
What's that
yourself?
now?
Nick, why does the bass? Oh God. Nick, why does the bass?
Cured. I'm happy.
Oh, do you guys hear that?
No.
What's that?
Or what?
Nick, do you have any more thoughts on this album?
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'll go through my notes again. Generic. Okay, I went over that. I didn't like the bass guitar. That was really bad. First two songs were okay. Vocals kind of annoying. I don't know. This whole album just reeks of this sort of like that guy who pretends to be super sensitive and empathetic just to get into girls' pants.
A soft boy.
Yes.
Is that what
Yeah,
that
those,
That
those,
is what
those
that is.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is like this. I don't like it.
All right. Are we ready to score this album?
I think
Yeah,
so.
sure.
Jasmine.
I'll give it an 8.
All right, I'm giving it an 8.5. Ryland.
I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Brandon?
But it was haunted. You're giving it that much
I'm
for
going to give it-
haunted?
It was an 8, but it made me feel scared. So
What
I-
really, Ryland? If
Are you
if-
serious?
You
If
gave
that's the
Daughters a
reason-
10 out of 10. Why are you giving this 5 less points because it's haunted?
But I
Ryland,
was
if that's the
prepared for
reason
Daughters.
that you gave it an extra half point off, I'm writing the scores down. You gave it an 8. I'm sorry. If you tell me right now that that's
Wait,
not
Ryland,
the
are you
reation you bumped it down,
Worse
I'll
because
leave it.
I
Okay, it's an 8. It's
All
an
right,
8.
perfect.
Wow.
Brennan,
6.
Matt,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a.
Yeah, I agree with Matt. I think
whoa,
What?
Oh, is that what he
Okay.
said?
yeah, that's what he said.
I'm cutting that out.
Well, you already did by adding those weird flute noises.
Oh, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, Matt, you gave it a what?
Yeah, I'll give it a 6.
Nick,
It's 2.
Jesus.
Oh wow.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
Ruthless.
It's just like what comes out of my asshole.
All right, I'll do some quick calculations here. Some quick little calculations here.
Say it one more time
Some quick
for the audience
calculations
at
here.
home.
Gets a
Big
6.
There we go.
6.41 out of 10.
That seems
That's
fair
pretty
to me.
average.
All right, Brennan, what album are we doing next week?
Oh my, I hope you're ready. We're gonna be listening to The Mordial by Car Bomb.
McDonald's Ram Ranch?
Can you say
Oh,
that
man.
a little clearer for the audience at home?
Yeah, so the album is called Mordial. That's Mordial by Car Bomb. That's CAR space BOMB.
Kind of insensitive to pick that right after this one, I do have to say.
A little bit, but it's a good album.
See, I'm actually glad you spelt it out. I didn't know there was a space between car and bomb.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually
Yeah,
didn't
It
either.
is.
just like the space that the jaws of life had to open up to.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
it
that's
for
working,
Podcast
Nick.
Book Club episode 4.
right, bye-
tune
bye,
in
Mom.
next week when we're listening to Car Bomb by Tomb Dial.
That was just insensitive, I think.
Bye.